Hello, today I am making a sliding ladder sacrifice bead bracelet. These are inspired by Saint Thérèse and her family, who used them to make little sacrifices for Jesus every day. And traditionally they have 10 beads on them. I've only put 5 on here, and one of the pendants, one of the medals, add-ons, whatever you want to call it, just to save some time in this video, and I'll show you how to do the rest. So the very first step is to, if you're making this at home, to measure your cord. For an adult wrist, for my particular cord, which is a 1mm waxed cord, you would need a 40mm string, or 2 of them. And for a child, you would need a 35mm string. You can always make it shorter, but you can't make it longer. So if you have like a child with really skinny wrists, then feel free to cut it at the end and tie them out again to make it shorter. So first step is to measure and cut your strings, and then make a knot on one end and tape it down so that your work doesn't move. Then you would need to string both of your cords through, from the top going down through the top loop of your crucifix, and you see the cords go behind the crucifix, so they come back up through the bottom loop. Now I'll show you how I'm gonna finish these beads for you to make the sliding ladder beads. So if you buy these pearl beads, these are 6mm beads at the store or on Amazon. Sometimes they are clogged up in the middle just with extra paint. So I take like a regular sewing needle and kind of hollow out the bead just to be sure that it's gonna go through the string will go through it pretty smoothly. So like I said, I've already done 5, so I'm gonna do another 5. So you hold the bead in one hand, whatever hand is more comfortable for you. You're gonna take the left string and push it through the left side of the bead. Then you're gonna take the right string and push it through the right side of the bead. Just like that. You're gonna have 2 tails. And you're gonna pull the tails away from each other, and the bead will scoot right up. And you're gonna continue that process, 10 times. And like I said, I'm just doing 5 more since I've already done 5. So left string through the left side of the bead, right string through the right side of the bead. And sometimes the string will try to unravel on you at the bottom. So I just kind of twist it a little bit to get it back together, or wet it to push it through the bead a little bit easier. All right, and we're gonna keep going. So left string through the left side of the bead, right string through the right side. I'm just gonna twist it a little bit. 2 tails, pull the tails, and the bead should slide right up. All right. So we have 1 more to make 10. Grab your tails and pull. Okay. So after you have your knot, your tape, your crucifix, your 10 sacrifice beads. We're gonna add on the Saint Thérèse medal at the bottom. So, like I said, we're gonna go through the top of the medal with both strings, with both cords. And this part is kind of tricky because that loop is so small, so it might take you a while. If you have needle nose pliers to help kind of pull it through, that's very helpful. But with me, my string is so worn after me messing with this bracelet. It's having some trouble going through. So let me see if I can go with this one first, since this is my treble string. Here we go. And my nice string. Let's see if my nice string will be nice. Here we go. All right. Bloop. And you're gonna pull it up. Make sure that your strings don't like change directions on you, like the left is still on the left and the right is still on the right, before you push it through the back of the medal. So I'm going to use my problem string first, since it's harder to push through. Let's see if I can wet it a little bit. There we go, come on. You can do it. All right. And then my left string. You might want to pull down a little bit to give some resistance. Make more room for your second cord to go through. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, it's okay. It happens, right? String is string. Okay. I got 2 problem strings now. Look at me go. Oh, success. Okay. Pull them nice and tight. Make sure they are not overlapping in a way that you don't want them to, meaning they're not twisted up on the back, just because we don't want a twisted bracelet. Okay, so after you're done with both of your add-ons and your 10 beads, then you can go ahead and take up the tape and put it aside. You don't need it anymore. How beautiful is that? And we're gonna go ahead and knot the other side. So we are done adding things to our bracelet. My crazy strings are just even crazier now. Bloop. All right. Try to get the knot as close to the end of the strings as you can. Okay. Then we are going to tie the sliding knot. So to do that, you're going to take both ends and you're going to kind of almost tie your shoes with them. So you're going to cross over one of the strings, preferably the left one on top of the right one. And you're going to make 3 loops. So you're going to go over like that. That's 1 loop. And then 2 loops, but instead of going forward, you're going to go backwards onto the loop you just made. So this is 2 loops and then a 3rd loop. And this is where my needle nose pliers really come in handy. So I kind of take them and dig through to find all 3 loops that I just made, because they get a little lost in there. Okay, so I have 3. And I grab my knot, bloop, and I pull it through all 3 loops that I just made. And I want to make sure that my first loop is over the other 2. So it needs to be 3rd in line, going from 1st to 3rd like that. See how it's over here and not over here? Okay, so to make it fit correctly on an adult wrist, you're gonna want the length from the knot, the sliding knot, to the end knot to be about 1.5 inches. So I'm gonna pull it until it reaches about 1.5 inches. If you need to make it bigger, you can. Ooh. Here we go. So let's see how big it is. It's about 1.5 inches. Okay. And you'll see that you can easily pull the other, like the way that I made it, it's the right side, but only one of these end knots moves through the sliding knot. So in this case, it's the left side, or the right side of, this is my right hand, so the right side is what's moving through the left knot. So this left side doesn't move. It's only the right side. Okay, so when you put it on, obviously look, it's not really even, like this sliding knot's not in the middle. So you can go in and move all of these metals. That's the great thing about a sliding bracelet, is you can move them very easily up and down the cord, because 1, it's waxed, but 2, it's just the way that it's designed. So I'm gonna move these all a little bit down the cord to make my sliding knot more central. Let's see here. Here we go. Let's see if it's more central now. And you can tell if, like, there is 1.5 inches of cord over here and 1.5 inches of cord over here. more or less. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on, show you what it looks like on an adult wrist. So now it's kind of just hanging off me, but I can grab one end and grab the other end and tighten it and flip these metals over so that they face me. Isn't that pretty? And I'm going to take it off to do this part. The very last step after you do all of that is to singe the ends so that these end knots don't come undone. So I have a lighter. I'm just going to singe them a little bit at a time. I don't want a candle going, I don't want a flame, but I'm going to singe them all the way down to where the knot itself actually starts to melt into the end string. That would be perfect. You probably can't see that very well, but the knot itself actually started to melt into itself. So if you have just one big melted knot, you know it's not going to come apart. I'm just gonna cut this a little shorter for time. Bloop. Okay. And then we're gonna singe the other end. And there you have it. We have made a sliding ladder sacrifice bead bracelet in honor of Saint Thérèse. If you have any questions, please ask me. Saint Thérèse, please pray for us.